Well, last night was fun, wasn't it? Nah, it was terrible, y'all. First of all, New York Mets, enjoy the win last night. Enjoy it. You know, I know y'all haven't had much to be happy about this year, but I guess the one positive y'all can look at is that right now, you lead the season series over the Braves 5-3. Now, today and tomorrow become must wins for the Braves because if the Braves were to win those two, the series would be 5-5. And whoever wins the following series in a couple weeks will win the season series. The worst thing that can happen to the Braves is that they get swept. I don't think it will happen, though. Got Chris Sale on the mound tonight, so hopefully the Braves can rebound. But my God, where do I start, man? Where do I start for yesterday? I will say it was decent, you know. I guess you want to look at one positive for the Braves last night. It was Ozzy Albies. He was the lone bright spot. He had the 2-run homer. He had three RBIs, mainly responsible for all 3 runs that the Braves had yesterday. Ron Acuna scored a run, and I think Michael Harris. No, it was Matt Olson, not Michael Harris. But yeah, those were the only runs came from Olson, Acuna, Albies. The offense just was basically non-existent. You got nothing from Michael Harris. You got nothing from Austin Riley. Austin Riley over striking out yet again. Now I'm not going to go be like most Braves fans, be like send them to Gwinnett. That's not going to change anything. You know, Austin Riley's going to be with us for the rest of the year, unless he gets hurt. I don't think he will, but yeah, just not a good game last night. Martin Perez, he did okay. You know, he didn't really wow me last night, but it wasn't bad last night from him. He managed the last 5 innings, and then I feel like the change of the guard happened when the rain started to pick up at City Field last night. I think he kind of lost his edge a little bit, allowed 3 walks in a row, allowed the bases to be loaded. But thankfully, he did manage to get out of that jam, and the Braves were able to lead the 5th inning, tied up 3-3. And after that, that's where the cataclysmic stuff happened. Connor Thomas, excuse me. God bless him. But he is not ready. He was bad last night. He was astronomically bad. The dude is just not ready. And maybe in the future he will be ready, but today he's just not. I'm 100% not comfortable with him on the mound, especially in critical situations. Now, if the game is severely out of reach early on, if you want to give him like an inning, just kind of get his feet wet, fine. But when the score is tied 3-3, you cannot put in a pitcher with a very high ERA, you know, mainly making his debut thinking he's going to solve anything. You just cannot put him in that situation. And it got bad. He gave up 11 runs, y'all, in 3 innings. That was rough to watch. And for as long as I was like, get him out of there. He's not ready. It's getting bad. And it's getting to the point like, I guess the Braves want to lose 16-3. I guess they want to lose 21-3. Get him out of there. Get him out. Eventually, they did switch pitchers in the bottom of the 8th. Like I said, the damage was already done, so it didn't really matter who came in, you know. But they did get the final out of the 8th inning and managed to keep it 14-3. Yeah, Jeff, it was definitely a game. If you're a Braves fan, you want to forget. You know, I guess it's a good thing I'm doing this video this morning as opposed to after the game, because I wouldn't say I'd be yelling and screaming, but you'll probably sense a little hostility in my voice had I did this video last night. Now that I had a chance to kind of sleep it off and wake up the next morning, I'm a lot calmer. Disappointed. Disappointed, but I'm a lot calmer. So yeah, but hopefully the bats will come alive tonight. Like I said, Chris Sale on the mound. That should really help out a lot. Yeah. But as far like I'm disappointed last night, but I'm kind of annoyed too because this is a New York Mets team that has gutted their entire roster during the offseason. And they lost Juan Soto due to injury. Now, granted, they still have Francisco Lindor. He basically dominated this game yesterday. But you should not be losing to this Mets. Excuse me. You should not be losing to this New York Mets team. You just cannot. It's not a good look. This is beyond playing down the competition. This is stepping into quicksand, if you ask me. Like, my God, I'm baffled. I'm baffled that the performance. I'm disappointed in the performance, and I'm annoyed that it was against this Mets team. If you want, that's the adjectives you could describe me right now. I'm still, even though, and I'm calm because like I had a chance to kind of have my what the fuck moment last night and kind of sleep it off. But and Braves fans, there's nothing positive to take away from this. It's nothing. You can't spin this into a positive, losing 14-3 to one of your biggest rivals. Nothing positive to take away from that. None whatsoever. And I think this is the most runs the Braves have given up in the game this entire season. It was 12, but now this last night takes the cake. And this is why I say the Braves fans are going to try to spin this to a positive, because they're going to look at the Phillies of the Marlins game and be like, well, the Phillies blew a 9th inning lead and lost to the Marlins, so at least the Phillies don't gain ground on the Braves. Okay, the Braves don't gain ground on the Phillies either, so it's really hard to really relish the Phillies losing, because the Braves not only lost, they got pimp slapped. So no, I really don't care that the Phillies lost to the Marlins. I give credit to the Marlins on one thing. They finally snapped their 12-game losing streak, so good for them. But other than that, that's as far as it goes for me. Looking at the bright side, there's no bright side. Look at this. The Braves need to play better. We don't need to see Carter Thomas on the mound rest of the year. We've seen what we need to see. And at this point, you could just let him go. I'm just going to be honest. Let him go. Let him play some like minor league and I'm talking about pick up baseball games. Not even minor league. Just pick up baseball games. See if he can get his mojo back. If he starts to get a little footing, then he could try the minors again and try to work his way back up. Because at this point, no. He's going to get destroyed every time. And I hate it for him, because this can and will derail his confidence moving forward. Because now he's probably going to have doubts. Can he play at this level? I just don't know, man. That ERA, that was disturbing. I didn't know. I never heard this guy a day in my life. Then I did my research. I'm like, why are we pitching him? This dude has a very high ERA. You want to throw him to the wolves? I blame that on pitcher staff. Because the fact of the matter is, despite the Braves kind of playing up until the 6th inning, they still had a chance to win this game. They had a chance, and I guess Walt Weiser decided to piss it away, so that was that. But anyways, like I said, Mets fans, relish this win tonight. Last night, excuse me. We'll duke it out again today. I expect the results to be different. If the Braves get pummeled again, the next video may not be so calm. You cannot be getting your ass handed to you by the Mets. You just cannot. This only should happen when the Mets are really good and you are really bad. Even then, I still wouldn't accept it, but even it still be unacceptable, but at least it'll be understandable. But this is I don't understand this. This is unacceptable. This is inexcusable, and I'm not taking anything positive from this. At least not last night. Nothing. But anyways, let's see what happens. Trade deadline coming up in a couple of days. I know from what I've been hearing, there's been talk about Tariq Skubal possibly coming to the Braves. If I'm Alex Anthopoulos, I'm making that move. You got to do something, man. You got to do something. Because, like, granted, this core is good enough to get you to the playoffs, but you need to up it up a little bit to have a strong enough core to make a deep run in the playoffs, much less make it to the World Series. I'm just saying. But anyways, that's all I really have for now. I really don't have anything else. Except let's see what happens tonight. Let's see if the results are better. Holla at y'all later.